everybody and welcome back to the Daily Transmission. Today we're going to be showing you the brand new curtain set from Heritage for your VW T3. Those of you who've been watching the channel for a little while now have probably seen the video about us fitting curtains into a T3. Now, though those curtains in particular were actually a prototype version from Heritage. They gave us the kit to throw in a van, see that they fit. There were some amendments to be made. Now all those amendments have been carried out and we're here to show you how to fit the kit. We have already fitted 3 in this instance because they're the curtains that I covered in the last video. So today we're going to concentrate on this rearmost window and the tailgate. So let's get straight on with it. The tools you are going to need today are a drill with a 2mm bit, a screwdriver with the correct Phillips bit, that is very important, and a form of marking, in this case some masking tape, a pencil and a Sharpie. Unlike other carpet sets you may have seen on the market, these are actually moulded or formed to shape to fit in the window apertures. And Heritage have gone, I'm going to say, one step extra in making sure that these fit your windows by actually providing you with 2 sets of rails for the sliding door, because on these vehicles in particular you have an early and a late sliding door. The kit that you see in front of you today, well, we've already fitted a couple, so I'll show you what's left. We've got the formed curtain rails, again for the tailgate and this back window here, and we've got the second set of rails that I haven't used for that sliding door. We've got these wonderful stretchy material curtains that are in black. They have the dark grey on one side and a black on the other. On this particular vehicle in this particular vehicle we've gone with the black on the outside. They have the tie wraps as well, and to finish off the edges of the curtain rails you get these lovely little plastic end caps. To keep the curtains held down at the edges you've got these poppers. They provide you with some spare curtain rails as well, and then you've got the whole bundle of screws there to keep the curtains and the cups down. So it's a completely comprehensive kit. That's why we like it so much. So let's get straight on to fitting it. We're going to concentrate on this side window first. This van originally was a panel van, so it's had the aftermarket windows cut in, and this van in particular, these windows are actually smaller than most. Doesn't matter in this case because these windows themselves actually fit the original aperture of the van. So if you have a van with Caravelle style windows or a van with panel van conversion windows, these kits should fit spot on because they fit this aperture. We're looking at the rails here and they're numbered 7 and 8, but what we're looking at is this picture. Now it annotates here that this is the window we are concentrating on. So the back window on the near side, and it's got B and T for bottom rail and top rail. So if I pop that bottom rail in there, you can just see how that form fits the shape of that aperture beautifully on the left and right side. And if I put that one in the top, once that's butted up against that ledge, that actually fits that shape beautifully up there too. I'll just double check it's not the wrong way around. That fits even better when you get it the right way around. Look. So there you go. It follows the form of that shape really, really nicely, and all that's left to do is to drill them in. Because this has been carpeted, I'm not going to mark it because it's a bit of a pain to lay some tape down, mark it, drill it, pull the tape off, and we want to keep that carpet in as best condition as possible. So I'm going to have the rail in the position that I need it to be, and I'm going to hold it in position, and then I'm just going to simply drill the pilot hole for the screw. So I'm holding it in now. I have a 2mm bit on this drill. I'm just going to drill it in. That's it. And it's 2mm because the actual screw itself is very, very small. I'm going to just, without moving the rail, and you might want somebody else to help you here, without moving the rail, I'm going to get my screwdriver, lay it in the head of the screw, and pop it in. I'm not putting it all the way home yet, because that's good practice not to put all your screws all the way in until you know you've got them all in the right position. So I'm just going to crack on. I'm going to put 1, 2, 3 more holes in and then 3 more screws in, and then I'll bring you back when we're going to put the end caps in. So we've now got the bottom rail and top rail in, and it's now time to do the end caps. Now, just to make you aware, these are sided, so picked up 3 of the same. Nope, that's the same as well. 1 second, there we go. So you will have one that fits in one end of the rail and one that fits in the other, because there's more of a curved edge on the side that's presenting it inside the van, so to speak. So I've got this one here. Oh, and this is why we don't do the screws all the way up, because you're going to have to lift that rail slightly with a screwdriver or whatever it may be to just wiggle that in there. There we go, that one's in. And then, which is the other side? This one here. Gonna lift that up. Oh, I've already popped one in there. So onto the top ones. That's that side. And that's this side. There we go. And the last one over here. Cool. Once you're happy with all the positions, you have to drill through the metal rail itself and then through the bodywork. So same sort of deal, we've still got a 2mm bit. I'm still going to be drilling. I'm going to hold this down, going through the hole in that plastic end cap. That's one layer, that's the metal rail layer. And then that's the metal of the van gone all the way through as well. And then the reason it was taking so long is, one, that it might have a bit of carpet on the end of the drill bit, and secondly, I don't want to be pushing really, really hard, because if it shoots down into the metalwork, I don't want to scratch up all the rail itself. So that's why I did it like that. So pop that in. Brilliant, and that's all the way home. Now, I've already mentioned it in the tool description as well, but you've got to find the right Phillips bit. Now, it's not a posi drive bit, it's a Phillips bit, and that's to fit in that screw perfectly. So make sure you fit the right one into your screwdriver, because if you get the wrong one in, you'll just gnarl up all the end and just make for a very good finish. Or if you ever want to remove them again, it's going to be very difficult to do that. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to drill the remaining 4 and then I'll come back to you. Believe it or not, that was the easy bit, drilling and screwing the holes in. Next, it's trying to get these stretchy curtains in, which can be a bit of a pain. And there's an order to do it. So now you've got all your screws in place and your end caps in place. Now we put the curtains in. And the reason we put the end caps in place now is because once you've got that rail in, you're going to have to remove the end cap again, slide the curtains on, and before they have a chance to sort of slide back out the rail, which is a pain, you've got to put that end cap back in. So get all those holes drilled and screwed in first, then the curtain. So the order of things now, remove the end cap from either the bottom or the top, do whichever order suits you. Get all of the runners in on one curtain, we're doing one curtain at a time. Then put the end cap on, screw it in, undo this one, put all the rails in at the top, or the hooks in at the top, put the end cap back in, slide that curtain all the way to one side. Repeat the process with the other curtain. And what you've got to make sure of is when you install your curtains is that the poppers are in the right orientation and the right way around, because you want a nice, neat finish. And if you check out these curtains, we have got the dark grey on the inside. I might have said we had the black on the inside earlier, but I made a mistake. We have got the dark grey on the inside and the black facing outside, and that is so when you have your poppers on the edge, you can pop them in nicely and it creates a nice finish. So we're going to have curtain rail, 1, 2, and so the first hook to go on, either the top or bottom, is this side here. Oh, so let's get on with it. Curtains are now in the rails nicely, and we've double checked them and there's no missing hooks. Next stage then is to put these poppers up against the metal window aperture, and what you've got to make sure of is that there's a bit of tension in between both, but also that there's going to be no light escaping through these gaps too. So I think mocking them up there and there, that's absolutely fine. And with this one in particular, I'm just going to hold that just there. I'm going to hover my drill over the cap where I think I'm going to drill. I'm going to move that out of the way and literally just plant my drill there. You don't have to be amazingly accurate with it, but you can choose to use a marking method with a pen or a pencil or a bit of tape, whichever you want to do. So I'm going to go straight ahead, drill that hole. Make sure that I don't lose the hole. So I'm just going to rest that drill bit in there at the moment, because I'm going to come straight in with the screw and the popper. There we go. Don't put those in too hard, because there is a risk that your screw can pull all the way through that metal popper. So just make sure it's tight, but don't ram that screw home in there. And there we go, there's the popper in. I've just got 3 more to do. Super happy with how they have turned out. They slide really nice on the rails and they do their job. They're curtains. But to make them neat and tidy, you can pull them all the way to one side, but the kit does come with these little popper tie backs. So I'm just gonna wrap that round there, make it look nice and presentable. Do the same the other side. And there you go. Curtain installation done. Once I've made them even and look nice. Bit of my OCD kicking in there. So what we're going to do, we're going to bring Ali back round this side. We're going to close that tailgate and we're going to show you how to fit the curtain in that tailgate. We're not going to go too in depth. We're just going to show you pretty much how to do the top one, because that's the only one that's slightly different to all the others. Let's get on with it. We're now doing the tailgate curtain rails, and I wouldn't normally be sitting here to do this job. However, the rails that you get are formed once again, and they fit perfectly. There's one at the bottom, although this tailgate does have a bit of a curve to it, so when you drill this in, you've got to push that rail in all the way home against that rubber, but it fits in there just beautifully. And the top rail is just a straight bar, okay? And that fits, if I can bring you in a bit closer, Ali, there is the actual tailgate rubber and the window rubber, and it fits in just on that bit of metal there. So you're going to be butting up this rail, but it's going to butt up closer to this rubber than that one. You've got to have it touching the actual window rubber as opposed to the boot rubber. Okay, so once I'm happy that's in there evenly, and I'm happy that it's touching the bottom rail as opposed to the top rail, sorry, the bottom rubber as opposed to the top rubber, I'm going to put my first hole in just there. Put the screw on the end of my driver, and pop that all the way home, and that's there, and it's safe and it's evenly spaced in between. And then it's just a case of popping all those screws in and all the end caps like the other ones, and then I'll show you the bottom rails, and we'll just put one in. So again, the rails there, it's formed to the shape of the window frame, and make sure it's evenly spaced from left to right. And I'm going to push in the rail more towards the window rubber than the actual door card itself, so pushing it all the way home. Now you might find it easier to mark this one, however I'm going to go straight ahead and drill because I'm happy with it. Screw hole in, clean up some of the swarf there. Get it lined up. And there you go, that's in there. So gonna follow exactly the same guides as we did before, and we'll bring you back for a recap at the end. And there we have it, it is all done. We have the first curtain set available from Heritage for this model of vehicle. And it's gone in really, really nicely. I'm really happy with them actually. Top rails, bottom rails on that tailgate especially, I know were a bit tricky. So there's a lot of work going into those, and with all the others. So don't forget, you get these different sets of rails to fit early and late vans. There will be different colours available. And yeah, I can really recommend this kit. Not just because we helped develop it, but because it's actually an excellent kit. And I don't believe there's anything else on the market. So thank you, Heritage. Really appreciate you asking us for help. And if you are considering curtains for your van, I think these are a really, really good place to start. Thanks very much, and we'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye.